And we're switching things up. And Kevin is doing the intro for this episode.
Yes, you are.
I am Kevin Heyman. We have Victoria Pappas here, Kristen Fantry, and our new special guest, Matt Farren. I hit you with the full name.
That was a fantastic intro. You should
See,
do
I
this more
think
often.
you need to do the intros from now on.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
We'll take a vote. That's their first question.
You gotta get
Who
like a
should do the
voice
intro.
changer. Sound
Definitely
like
poll
the
them.
wrestling
Yep.
and introduce everyone.
So, Matt, if
Or
you could,
Matthew.
or Matthew, as I like to call you, and other people, like your mother, like to call you.
Who works in the district, everyone.
Who works in the district.
That's why we said.
That's one of my fun facts.
That's all right. We'll get to it.
So, Matt, if you could, for our audience, just introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us, well, I know what you do. Tell everybody that's listening what exactly you do on a daily basis, and give us a little fun fact.
My name is Matt. I like to go by Matt and not Matthew. I am a network and systems specialist too in the district, and I work closely with Kevin Heyman, Victor Zambrana, and Scott Halford. And I do the wireless stuff in the district. I work on Spec Ops, which is like imaging for all like the computers district-wide. Basically like a skin of the Windows operating system.
So that little window that pops up on the bottom right hand when it says Spec Ops is doing stuff. That's
usually me. Just
That's you.
playing on the
Okay.
Spec Ops server.
Usually loading applications and updates, right?
Yeah, I push out a lot of applications, updates for all the stuff that like the teachers use, the admins use. Do a lot of the networking stuff, work on the switches and stuff like that. Do a little security work with Victor. And
Define
cameras.
switch, not the light switches.
Not the light switch.
Not the Nintendo ones?
The network switch.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, Nintendo.
48 ports to be exact.
What did you say?
48 ports.
48 ports to be
48 ports.
to be
Okay.
exact.
I'm
I'm glad that you know that it's 48 ports on the Switch.
Took me a long time to learn that one.
All right.
I learned it on TikTok actually.
Oh, really? If it's
Fun
on
fact
TikTok,
about
it
me
must be-
is I'm having a baby in 5 months.
Yay.
Baby
Yay.
boy. So I'm excited for that, but it's going to be definitely a life change for me.
Yeah.
So
Breaking the news on here. We got the
Yeah.
scoop first.
Wow.
That's it.
I'm telling you guys, it's the T in IT.
It
You
is.
just got the top T with a little honey, lemon, and some sugar, baby. It's a boy, right?
Yeah, it's going to be a boy.
It's going to be a boy.
No name yet, but
So it's not
Excellent.
Matt or Matthew?
I don't think so.
He doesn't think so. Okay. So second question for everyone. What do you think Matthew's son's name should be? That will
That's
be
a good one.
question.
You're going to get great suggestions.
Yes.
I'll take all the suggestions that people will throw at me.
Perfect.
All right, nice. So I know one of the reasons we wanted to have you on, besides your humorous personality, is you've been working on a new project that affects pretty much everybody district-wide that some people may or may not know about. And if you want to shine some light onto that. And
Yeah,
then
definitely.
I know Victoria and Kristen
It's
probably
the,
have some questions as
it's-
well. But
The Aruba project, and the reason it's going to affect the
So
district.
we're all taking a flight.
Took my joke.
Sorry. We can edit it out if we
I was
really
going to
need
say
to.
the reason it's going to affect the district is obviously I won't be here. I'll be in Aruba. Laying on a beach. But no, Aruba is the brand of the access points for the wireless project. In every classroom, if you look at the ceiling, that little white thing hanging from the ceiling, it's not to spy on you. It is just to give you Wi-Fi so you can connect your phone, your Chromebook, your smartboard, whatever. So the access points that are currently in all of the rooms are starting to become outdated. So we're doing a district-wide swap in every building, CO, PNF, like basically every single building in the district, and we're going to do a one-to-one. So some classrooms or offices might not have one, but when the project is over, every single office space, classroom will have a new access point.
How many access points is that?
There is about 975 access points going to
Wow.
be in the buildings, and I think 56 access points for the outside of the buildings. So like when you're on the fields watching like the sports and stuff like that, or like soccer games, baseball, even like the playgrounds for like the elementary schools, everyone will be able to connect their phones. Then,
So when I'm waiting for appointments, in between appointments in the parking lot, I can send emails now?
Yeah, you can send emails.
Fantastic.
In the parking lot, wherever you want to do.
Perfect for us. Perfect.
It's great
So,
for us.
yeah, it's good. It's going to be Wi-Fi 6 soon when we start upgrading our switches and stuff around the district. We need a little bit more power. Faster Wi-Fi, more bandwidth, which is like basically people can do more stuff at the same time, all using the wireless. And the access points are going to allow more people to connect to them at once. So if you have everyone in the classroom using Chromebooks, whereas a couple months ago might have been like slow, seen lagging on the Chromebooks if all 30 students use them. With the new ones, you won't really see that. We've been hosting SATs and stuff in the high school, having a couple hundred people connect. It's been good, knock on wood, so far. But,
Sorry to tell you it's not wood, but we'll find some for you.
It's close enough. It's just the knock that counts.
I feel like all those things you said make teachers very happy. I feel like this is going to make you very
Yes.
popular.
Yeah, so if you have any Wi-Fi problems, don't call me, please.
Actually, today, so I was going to say what will be the main differences, but I think you just highlighted that. I was in a class in Sycamore this morning, and we were working on finishing up some video editing in WeVideo. We had to export the video into Google Drive and then upload it into Book Creator. So it was a lot of exporting, saving, putting it elsewhere. And I did notice that it took probably 5 minutes in total for like maybe a less than a minute video to upload, and then importing it back into Book Creator took probably anywhere between 5 and 10 minutes. And the kids were just like, is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? And I'm like, yeah, it takes. And I had to have that hard lesson with them with it's not going to happen instantaneously. So we're going to test the same project later on, and maybe we'll see some improvements.
Yeah, you probably get a little bit more speed. I think we have them, 100 down in all the classrooms. Basically download speed, that's what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And then upload speed, I think it also should be around 100, which is pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, the Wi-Fi will be better throughout the district. We have 4 buildings done already.
I was just going to say, what is the length of time that a project like this takes?
So we started hanging the access points maybe end of December, and we've done about 5 buildings. So I'd say by the beginning of next school year, we should pretty much be done in the district.
That's great.
We've been doing it in small teams. Basically, I'm configuring all the access points to work in our environment, and then a couple of us will go out into the buildings. We'll hang 20 to 30 a night, make sure they're up, make sure they're running. I have a tool called Mobility Master, which I can monitor every single access point in the district. Tells me if they're up, they're down, how many people are connected, and basically just monitors the health of the wireless environment throughout the district. That is the only thing it monitors. Wi-Fi, you can't really see anything that people are doing on their phones or on their Chromebooks. It's very good to have. I know people don't like to connect their phones and stuff like that, but if you ever need your phone for anything, an emergency, Wi-Fi is definitely going to help that out. So,
Jump it on Wi-Fi calling.
Yeah, there's a setting in iPhones and Androids, Wi-Fi calling. I know a lot of the buildings don't have good cell service, and that's because the buildings are made out of brick and mortar.
Mm-hmm.
Blocks a lot of signals.
Yeah.
Half the reason why we're putting an access point in every single classroom, because you need it dedicated to the classroom. But Wi-Fi calling will make it a huge difference if you need to make a phone call on your break or go outside real quick, make a phone call. Being connected to the Wi-Fi, it's going to make that a lot smoother. No drops or anything like that. So we have Idle Hour done, Pearl is done, Duffield, and Slocum is about halfway done. NCO, that building is also completed. Next on the list is going to be Cherokee, and then after Cherokee, we're going to just go from there. Last building is going to be the high school because that's the biggest push, the most access points. But it's a good project. I like it. It's a good thing to do.
So now, what is the process? Will you know if Wi-Fi is down before it's reported, say, from a teacher?
If I'm in Mobility Manager, yes, I'll know it's down.
But only if you're in the program itself.
So it depends on how it goes down or what goes down. So if one access point goes down, I'll only know before. If I'm in the Mobility Master program, it'll show a notification on the down section, and it'll say, room 125 in the high school is down. So we have every single access point, the way we name them. Yeah, that's the room we're in now. Every single access point, the way that they are named and labeled, correlates with the room number that they're in, and it correlates with the building that they're in and which network rack they go to. So it makes the troubleshooting a little bit quicker for someone to go do, but they know where to go find the plugs and see if they can just reboot it quick. But if I'm not in mobility and one goes down, ticket. If someone notices slow Wi-Fi speeds or they don't have full bars, if they have like 2 bars, then most likely a ticket will be submitted. I get all the wireless tickets, and then I'll proceed from there. If there's a lot of access points down, it could be due to like a switch in the building going down, like a bigger network problem. So that we'll know before because we have all alerts set up for any of the switches. Mm-hmm. So if we have, say, 50 of the access points in this hallway on one of the switches in the racks over here, if it goes down, we'll know right away. And then to double check, I'll usually log into mobility. I'll see all 50 are down. We have a problem with the switch. And then
usually we get random phone calls. Will be
there's
other stuff that's down.
Right.
Computer may be down, or other things that are
starts to like trickle in.
Yeah,
but
cameras, things like that.
Yeah, basically anything connected in that rack will be down until it gets replaced or fixed.
So the best way to inform the IT staff is to put in a ticket still.
Correct.
Yes, that would be the quickest resolution and. Helps us keep track of like the equipment, stuff that breaks, because we do have to RMA it if there is a problem with the access point. So it's just good to have like a track record, basically saying, all right, room 125 was down a month ago. We RMA'd it, it's back up, say it goes down again. So then now we know maybe it's a problem with the wiring, bad access points. It could be a number of different things.
Just for those who don't know, RMA is like return authorization, right?
Yes.
To send it back to the
company.
company.
Yeah, just send it back to the company. Yeah. They'll check it to make sure it's actually broken, and then they'll send us a new one.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Very cool.
Yeah,
I think
cool.
One thing that I will speak about that I'm like in a way as his coworker is proud to see him take on a project like this and to see it early on be as successful as it's been. And he's got a very like regimented process going on the daily where he's got a certain group of access points that he knows he has to get done. He's very organized in what he's doing, and Matt's obviously been here for a few years now, but this is probably one of a few things that he's gotten to spearhead himself as like the lead on the project. So
yeah, this is I think the biggest project that I've just taken on my own.
Yeah.
I imagine you have to be very organized. 900 access points is a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot. And since we got it through BOCES, we got to like make sure we have all the serial numbers. We have to know each location they're in. It's very detailed. It's a very detailed process setting them up before we just install them in the buildings.
Right.
So I want to mention another project that you have tackled. Not as big, but still very, very big and touches the entire population here in Connecticut. And that would be Parent Square. Matt was the guy behind the scenes setting that up. And do you want to talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah. Parent Square, good application. It was a process setting it up, but luckily they ended up buying Remind, which we already had Remind. So a lot of the back end work was very similar.
And what I liked about that is that they're still like working hand in hand. So it's not like Remind is completely gone. I know some teachers are still using it. But
Remind's definitely not gone. It's a free software that you could still use. A lot of teachers do use it. I know my mom likes to use it as well. You can still set up classes and do stuff.
Shout out to Lisa.
Yeah, shout out to Lisa. She's a math teacher.
I was just going to say, let's clarify where his mom works.
Math teacher in the high school.
Math teacher in the high school. Hey, Lisa. If you're listening, if not, we're going to send you this
girl.
clip.
Yeah. But Parent Square is also very good. It's very similar to Remind. You could do the same thing with groups and create like little, I guess, chat groups to talk with the parents and the students and stuff. The back end was a little tricky because the way we have a lot of our data in our eSchool system, which is our student information system, and then Envision, which is like our employee system, it's a lot of like moving parts back there. So basically we just have an API set up with Parent Square. We give them a certain amount of data. They take the data, they import it into their program, and it kind of lays everything out. So for like buildings and grade levels and stuff, everyone, like if you're a 12th grade teacher, somewhere in our system it says like, okay, like here you are, 12th grade teacher in the high school. the way Parent Square looks at the data, they say, okay, this person is obviously teaching 12th grade in the high school, so they'll put them in the high school Parent Square group, or building, I should say, and then attach them to the 12th grade group as well. Once that was all set up, it was very smooth. Took about, I guess, a month or two in the summer to set up, and then we were basically ready to roll out full time at the beginning of the school year, I think it was. But yeah, that was a fun project. Still tweaking out some things. I guess it's a big learning curve for everybody.
Yeah. I think any platform that, you change from, I think because everyone was so used to Remind, and then we had this change with Parent Square, any shift in a program is going to take some time getting used to. But, I think we're smooth sailing now. I know the buildings are using it. A few teachers are using it per building. I get those notifications, which are cool to see. Mm-hmm. What I like is it kind of looks like a social media feed. If the teachers, for those who are using it, you'll know that kind of reminds you of like social media where you can heart a post and you could comment and things of that nature. You could send pictures.
I also like that everything that has been sent is just kind of in one place.
Right.
So if you remember reading something or seeing something, you just go back there and you can kind of scroll through it.
Right.
And from the parent side, it's kind of nice too if you have kids in multiple buildings and stuff like that. So
it seems pretty seamless. Everything's all in one place.
The one, I'll give one example, just the phone calls, like the notifications. We used to have a application called School Messenger. That was the application that would streamline all the phone calls, like to the district, saying if there was closures or anything going on in the district that the parents would receive, the staff would receive, the teachers. Parent Square took that over, so those are some quirks in there that we're working out, how to send out certain messages, texts, app notifications, emails, phone calls. So that's one of the learning curves I think that we're taking on here. But after probably by the end of the school year, we'll have everything ironed out. Moving forward, it should be pretty smooth.
Well, I think one thing that maybe people don't realize too is that Parent Square has a lot of like great features that we may not have had in a previous platform before. So it's really leveraging that and seeing what fits the district's needs here too. So that's,
and they're like a more all-in-one program.
Right.
Whereas like Remind was more like on the messaging level, like the text level, the group level.
Sure.
And then School Messenger, that was just more like on the calls. Like it was just calls.
Yeah, so this is
instead
like
of
an
4 or
old...
5
it's kinda
different
like
one thing.
Yeah, so now we kind of streamlined it into one application.
Right.
And now it's like a little easier to manage on the back end instead of bouncing around from different applications. Right. So, yeah, it's new. It's new for me. It's new for a bunch of people in the district.
It's new for me, guys. Still learning here.
All right. Well, do you guys have anything else for Matt?
Do I? Let me think.
I think he was very thorough. He
Yeah.
answered all the questions I had before I even
I
asked
know.
them.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's why I'm a good interviewer.
All right, well, we're going to have you back.
Yeah.
I think so.
Absolutely. I'm sure people are going to love this episode. So
Yeah.
we thank you. Do you have anything else you want to say? Or?
No, I do work on other things, so if you guys ever want to talk about those,
All right.
Spec Ops, imaging, I know that's like more of a back end thing.
Right.
That people don't really see as much.
Well, that's what was requested from our listeners, was to kind of learn more about like the ins and outs of IT that they might not see, but still impacts them in a certain way.
Yeah, we got the Spec Ops. We have Mosaic, which is our new food service program. It took over NutriKids. I'm not sure if everyone knows what NutriKids is, but it's like the student database that houses all the in-district like food, I guess you could say.
Mm-hmm.
So when the kids are buying lunch and doing all that, everything's in the database. That was a new project I did this summer as well. So, yeah, if you guys want to hear more about those, you can have me back on.
Sounds like a plan.
It's a good teaser.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on our podcast.
Yeah,
Thanks, Matt.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.